Congressman Tim Murphy, Republican from the fine state of Pennsylvania, is calling for both Apple and FBI to testify on this very issue to seek out, I guess, a middle ground on this, Congressman, right, where Congress would settle this?
Well, we're hoping to get some more information. I just sent a letter as chairman of the Oversight and Investigation Committee, a bipartisan letter, asking the head of the FBI and the head of Apple to meet with us, to come to a hearing and talk with us about this issue. We've got to have a resolution. The idea that information could be out there that could lead us to finding more information about terrorist attack, terrorist network, which threaten life in the United States, is something we've got to solve. And just talking about the periphery issues here is not going to solve this issue.
Wouldn't a lot of Apple enthusiasts, Apple itself, free speech advocates, sir, say, well, you're still the government. It might not be the Justice Department, it might not be some judge, but it's a congressman and his buddies on both sides of the aisle who are deciding what we do. That's just as offensive. What do you say?
Well, they need to read the Constitution, because the Constitution forbids illegal search and seizure. You have to have a search warrant. There was a Supreme Court case, I believe last year, Riley was the case, whereby a policeman can't just look at someone's cell phone and begin to scroll through and get information. They've got to have a search warrant. That is what the FBI said they will do. They want to make this very specific. Just let us guess their password and get into those files and use that. This is a system that was used very successfully during the Iraq War, when they got a cell phone from Al-Qaeda or someone else to look in it and find out what their contacts were. This is going to be very valuable to us. It still comes down to this. There's a huge threat here to lives. This is not just someone robbed the local convenience store and we're trying to find out something. This is an ongoing issue of war on terrorism by terrorists who will continue to find subversive ways and clandestine ways to communicate. And it is important to shut the door on that. I look at it this way. If a landlord owned an apartment building and there was some bad activity taking place in one of the apartments, and the FBI says we need to have the passcode just to get into that apartment, and the person said no, because if I give you that passcode, you'll figure out how to get to everybody else's, and we're not going to let you do that. That's very specific, very targeted to deal with something. And the absence of this means that those who are talking about, you know, I don't want anybody looking at my cell phone, which is not going to happen here. It is the issue of, do we let those lives in San Bernardino and everywhere else is occurring just be considered collateral damage? And I don't think the American people would like that, because these are real lives on the line.
All right. It's an interesting fight. We'll see where it goes. Congressman, thank you very much for taking